For the last 6 months, I have been building command line interfaces instead of MCP servers. 3 of them now ship to NPM, and 1 runs only on my work laptop. Today I want to tell you why. Because the agent economy runs on tokens, and most MCP servers are quietly setting your token bill on fire before you type the first word. There is a leaner pattern. It is already mainstream at Cloudflare, at Vercel, at Anthropic. And here is the problem in one number. The official GitHub MCP server by itself takes about 55,000 tokens of your context window before you have typed a single word. That is the schema for 93 tools, all loaded eagerly, even if you only ever use one. Add Slack and Sentry, and you are at 143,000 tokens at idle. That is 72% of a 200,000 context window. Gone. The agent has not done anything yet. This is not me complaining. This is Adam Jones, who works at Anthropic on the MCP team. He took a screenshot of his own Claude Code session last December. His MCP tools alone were taking 100,000 tokens of definitions, just definitions. He had 3.9% of his context left, and he had only said hi to Claude. The protocol team has filed an issue called Mitigating Token Bloat. The problem is real, and it is on the record. It gets worse. MCP does not just tax you on what tools exist, it taxes you on what they return. If an MCP tool fetches a 2-hour meeting transcript, that is 50,000 tokens. The transcript flows into the model. Then the model passes it to the next tool. That is another 50,000 tokens. So 100,000 tokens just to copy what a human pastes in 2 seconds. The agent never gets to peek before consuming. It sees everything or nothing. Anthropic noticed all of this. So in November, they published an engineering post called Code Execution with MCP. The headline number is the one I want you to remember. They took an agent doing real work, meetings, calendar, email, and rewrote it to let the agent execute code instead of calling tools directly. 150,000 tokens dropped to 2,000. 98.7% saved. By the team that designed MCPP. So here is the pattern I keep coming back to. 3 layers. At the bottom, the CLI. A binary the agent invokes through the shell. No server, no JSON, RPC, no tools schema sitting in the context window. Above that, skills. Markdown files that teach the agent how to use the CLI, what flags exist, what JSON the response will look like. Skills load lazily, only when the conversation needs them. At the top, the LLM, the most expensive piece. So we use it for the one thing nothing else can do, reasoning. 3 layers, each doing what it is best at. Here is the part most people miss when they first see skills. Skills can layer. The base skill.md file at the top of my atl-cli is 56 lines, name, description, a routing table. When the agent needs Jira specifically, it pulls in atl-jira/skill.md. That one is 368 lines. When it needs Confluence, it pulls in atl-confluence. Most conversations only need one. The token bill scales with what the agent actually does, not with what it might do. There is a way to look at this that is not antagonistic. Skills and CLI is the lazy loading pattern. MCP wishes it had from day one. MCP loads all your tool definitions upfront. Skills load only the description, about 30 tokens, and pull in the body when the conversation actually needs it. CLI responses go into a pipe, not into the context window. The agent can grep, filter, peek, and only then read what matters. Same problem MCP set out to solve. Different layer of the stack, and the cost curve is just kinder. Anthropic launched Skills in October last year. 2 months later, they made it an open standard. The first partners to ship Skills with their tools were Atlassian, Figma, Cloudflare, and Notion. Since then, OpenAI's Codex CLI reads the same skill format. So does Google. So does GitHub Copilot. There is now a public registry called skills.sh with over 4,000 of them. The shape of a skill, name, description, body has become the cross-vendor convention for teaching agents how to do specific things. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. The first CLI I shipped is called ATL. It reads Jira and Confluence. The skill teaches the agent 4 commands: search, get issue, get page, download, attachments. When you ask Claude what is happening on ticket PROJ456, it runs atl-jira get issue, gets back JSON, sees there are images attached, downloads them, and reads them with vision. Architecture diagrams, mockups, error screenshots. Things most MCP servers throw away as text only. The agent gets a complete picture. The second one is called figma-cli. Same pattern, different surface. The agent calls Figma images export, gets a PNG of the hero section back, reads it with vision, and writes a React component that matches. Or it calls Figma tokens export and gets a clean W3C design tokens JSON file, colors, spacing, typography, shadows. That goes straight into Tailwind config or style dictionary. The designer ships in Figma. The agent picks it up. No human translates colors from a screenshot. No MCP server running anywhere. Same architecture pattern as HL. Different surface. There are two more. The third one is vidsnatch. It is a CLI that helps an agent manage YouTube videos. Install once, your agent has access. The fourth is one I cannot publish. I wrote a personal CLI for my work, Outlook and Teams that runs through my SSO Chrome profile. Completely deterministic. No token spent on reading email. Same pattern. Same pyramid. The pattern survives even behind corporate firewalls. Here is what I keep coming back to. I have stopped building tools for humans. I put my energy into building tools for agents, these command line interfaces, and then I let agents build the software for humans. That feels backwards on first hearing. It is the only thing that has felt forward in years. And this is where I want to be honest with you. I did not invent any of this. The CLI plus skills pattern is mainstream now. Cloudflare rebuilt their Wrangler CLI in April this year and said in a blog post that agents are the primary customer of their APIs. Their phrase, not mine. Versus ships agent browser as a native. Rust CLI. Browser. Use ships. Browser harness. OpenAI's Codex CLI and GitHub Copilot CLI are both terminal first. Anthropic open sourced the skills format. All of these companies converged on the same shape. I'm just applying it to two surfaces, Atlassian and Figma, that were thinly served. Browser Use, who ship one of these command line interfaces, posted a one-line summary that I think nails it. The chain goes MCP, then CLI, then a custom harness, then a dialect. A dialect being a skill, plus the helper files an agent needs to specialize in one site or one workflow. We are at the dialect tier. So is everyone shipping production agent tooling in 2026? MCP is one rung in the ladder. It is not the destination. Here is the cleanest example of this whole trade-off. Playwright. Microsoft ships two parallel packages now. There is @Playwright/MCP and @Playwright/CLI. Same engine underneath, two transports. When they ran the same 8-step test through both, MCP used 114,000 tokens. CLI used 26,800, 4.3 times less. Microsoft's own README tells you when to use each. CLI for coding agents, MCP for exploratory automation, self-healing tests, long-running autonomous loops. They literally wrote down the rule. But there is a counter-finding I want to be honest about. Outpost ran the same Playwright task and timed it. MCP finished in 90 to 120 seconds. I took anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes. Why? Because every CLI tool call is a round trip. The agent runs a command, reads the output, decides what to do, runs another command. MCP streams, CLI steps, tokens saved, wall clock spent. If your agent is on a deadline, MCP may still be the right call. The choice is two axis, not one. Now watch what happens when you chain these command line interfaces together. 6 commands. Read a Jira ticket. Pipe the JSON through JQ to pull out the image references. Run download attachments to grab them. Hand each PNG to the vision model. Cross-reference the matching frame from Figma to see if the architecture matches the design. Drop a comment back on the ticket saying yes or no. 6 commands. 1 agent. Each step deterministic. Each step costs 0 tokens until the model reasons about a result. MCP would have done this with one tool that swallowed everyone's context. The agent does not have a tool. The agent has a shell. And a shell is a much bigger room than a tool. The thing I want you to take away is this. That same skill file, that same CLI, plugs into every agent harness. Claude Code reads it. Cursor reads it. OpenAI's Codex CLI reads it. GitHub Copilot reads it. Client reads it. The agent does not care where it is running. Your laptop, a sandboxed cloud, VM, a teammate's machine. There is no MCP server alive somewhere, no transport to break, just a binary on disk and a markdown file describing how to use it. That portability is the second hidden gift of this pattern. Quick recap. MCP is a real protocol with real strengths. For stateful, authenticated, multi-turn loops, it still earns its complexity. But for everything I have shown you today, reading Jira tickets, exporting Figma designs, working with YouTube videos, parsing, Outlook email, a plain CLI plus a markdown skill file is leaner, faster to ship, and works anywhere your agent runs. CL. I for deterministic operations. Skills for agent guidance. LLM only for reasoning. 3 layers, each doing what it is best at. If you want to try them, atl and figma-cli are both on NPM. Links are in the description. The personal Outlook one stays personal, but the pattern is open. Build one for your own surface. If this was useful, hit subscribe. New episode every other week. And I will see you in the next one.